Hey everyone, Chris here at the Toy Box. Check this thing out behind me. When my dad got his C8, I inquired about a C8 myself as well as a Camaro ZL1. And a few years ago I was tossing around the idea of picking one of these bad boys up. Ended up getting the Challenger. Totally happy with that, but an opportunity came last week where Belzer's, my local Chevy dealer, got one of these in. This is a 2023 Camaro ZL1, and my guy there, he called me up. He goes, hey, you know, this just got off the truck. It's available. You want to come check it out? And I just said, yeah, hold it for me if you don't mind. I'll be there this evening, and we'll take a peek at it, as I do with all the cars that I can. I did not have them wash it. I just had them do the PDI. Even leave stuff like the stickers on it. And this comes right from, I mean, they'll just put those on, but the window sticker's still stuck to the windshield. It's got a whole bunch of crap I saw over here that's stuck on the paint. And typically they would have delivered this in pristine condition. But I have come to learn that this is kind of weird. Oh, this is two different whites. I saw that right away, but I guess because this is metal, this is plastic. You want to prevent them from putting their hands on the car as much as possible, because I mean, these are not terribly, you know, low quality cars, but they're not the greatest quality either. Things like this gloss black, it can easily, I mean, it's got a little flake to it, that can easily be marred up or made to look not as perfect as it should. So this is a 2023 Camaro ZL1. It does not have the 1LE package, which I was tossing around ordering one of these and getting the 1LE just because I think it looks really sweet, but this is more for what I would use it for, meaning not on the track. A little more comfortable, a little more, I don't want to say, not as like, look at me, if that makes sense. It sounds great, looks great. I'm going to give you guys a better tour here once I clean it up. I wanted to get an intro going real quick. I think these wheels are pretty sweet. Anyway, so I'm going to do one of those quick little edits here, and we'll just get this thing cleaned up real quick. It is scheduled to be, of course, wrapped and tinted in about, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. Got a busy schedule coming up. But let's get to cleaning this thing. Regardless of this being a brand new car not and only having 6 miles on the odometer, sometimes cars come in that are in brand new shape and they need paint correction, or in this case, I guess both iron remover and paint correction. I went around, obviously, as I'm washing, I'm finding a lot of things like this. See that? It's pretty tough to see on white, but stuff like this you can usually pull out with a clay bar or a polish, or sometimes something as simple as just a iron remover. There are certain things on here that I'm going to need some correction, such as, here's some more stuff like that. I could probably come out with a little bit of iron remover, if not clay bar, a little bit of polish. But see, there's like, see that mark right there? See that right in the light? Things like that. Saw a few more areas that were here, like this right there. See that? Kind of hard to see on white. And this paint is extremely smooth, so it's clean, but there's just little bits of contaminants that I'm finding to be in there. And they're coming out. I just don't want to force it. I want to do the most gentle process as I can at first. See that guy right there? Stuff like that is kind of all over the place. That's just iron that just came out of the bottle. So what I'm going to do is go around and spray this Adams iron remover on there, and we're going to let it sit for a few minutes. All right, that was a pretty thorough amount. You can already see within just a little bit of time. See all that purple coming up? It's really easy to see on white. But this here, I just washed this car, right? Y'all saw that. This is all the iron coming out of the clear coat that embedded itself into the paint. Look at all this. Is that nasty? Now you don't want this stuff to dry. You want to spray it off before it air dries, but we want to also give it some time to do its thing. And look at all that crap. Gross. It's everywhere. Mirrors. I don't know if this is from just like rail yards or just transportation gunk that happens in the short time this guy's being transported, or what. You can see the entire thing is just covered in it. It's not just the horizontal surfaces either, but the vertical ones too. See it dripping down? Way down here in the rocker. It's honestly everywhere. Kind of cool stuff. Kind of gross at the same time. You really see it back here. Okay, I don't want to have to sit out here too long, so I'm going to go ahead and spray it off. Okay, I think the iron remover did a pretty good job. It seems to be a little bit brighter white. Maybe it's just the lighting, maybe it's my imagination. Obviously it's not going to get rid of things like I showed you before, and things like this that need to be, you know, taken some polish brought to it. But it did a pretty good job for some of the other stuff that I was finding. I think I showed one on this here. See, it made it a lot less noticeable. I'll get the rest of that out with a pad, I think, and some polish. Oh, see, it just came out with my fingernail right there. It wasn't coming out before. And stuff like that is what the iron remover is intended to help remove, because you don't want to wrap this thing and have all that stuff between the paint, clear coat, and then have that iron that's embedded in there, and then have the clear wrap put on there. Something you want to try to avoid if you're going to go that route. Okay, off camera, I will dry this thing up. I hate drying cars that are not coated. It takes a lot of time because water just, it doesn't, you know, beat off like it does when the cars are coated. It just does this. It just sheets right there. So then you end up having to, like, look at this. This is a good example. This thing is wet. If it was coated, that would be dry for the most part. So I'll do that off camera. I'm going to take the big boy and we'll dry her out. Whoo, she looks good. So I dried her with the big boy blower over there. and I did a drying aid with the graphene CS3 from Adams, and I think it's ready for wrap. I went around and I touched up some of the areas that, see, there's no more mark around here that we saw before. I came down here and there was that scuff right here. Just took a little bit of polish, just hand polished it. She's looking mighty fine now. But there was that little mark right here, if you remember right. I know white's pretty hard to see, but I guess take my word for it, it's no longer there. White's great and complicated to detail. It doesn't show as many imperfections as black would. I mean, look at this. This doesn't look that terrible either, but you can see some stuff in it. You see that line that the light just hit right there? In focus. See, like stuff like that. I'll have to polish that out here. But the white, you don't see that as obvious. Okay, first thing I gotta do, actually I'm not gonna be here too much longer. I do gotta take off these stickers because they don't belong there. Oh no, this is gonna suck. Maybe not. Take off the dealer stock sticker. Clean this windshield here, but not today. Got the plastic down here. With this guy, I usually just tuck it in. Just leave it, just tuck her in. Last thing, carefully remove the window sticker. Probably get this laminated this week. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I got this from my local dealership, Jeff Belzer's. I was able to get a discount on this car. Now let me tell you how. Having a good relationship with the dealership is probably number one. They're not just going to give a price to, well, at least nowadays, anybody walking off the street says, hey, I want that car. Okay, here's your price, here's your discount. I got a call on this. I think it was the first person that the dealership called because I had put it in inquiry months ago, again, when we got the C8. They discounted this car for me a pretty good amount, actually, and which is kind of weird with the circumstances right now. I feel like in the last few weeks, things have changed. You couldn't go into a dealership and buy a car at MSRP. I mean, you could, but many dealerships, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, they were marking up cars like crazy. That TRX, for example, we paid MSRP for that, but like a month later, I was seeing them on dealership sites for like 20K over. It's unreal. And I feel like in the last few weeks, things have changed. I'm seeing Rams on dealerships and other vehicles on dealerships for weeks, and they're being discounted like $10,000, and it's still sitting there. I was able to get a discount on this bad boy with it not even being listed on the website or even there for more than an hour before the dealer contacted me. So I think things are starting to come back to normal. Maybe it's because gas prices, maybe it's inflation, people aren't spending money, whatever it is. It allowed me to be able to secure this. So this here is a 2023 Camaro ZL1. It's pretty stripped. It's not highly optioned. It doesn't have that 1LE package, so that takes off a bunch of money off the MSRP. So it doesn't have, the big wing, the aggressive suspension, the lower fascias that kind of stick out 18 feet, and the little fins that are on the side. It doesn't have any of that. It is honestly like very bare, and that's okay with me because, as I mentioned before, we don't track our cars. Yeah, we have a lot of cars that'll kick a lot of ass on the track, not to name names, but I don't do that. I just drive them to work and back, go to car shows once in a while, and I just detail them. Just a passion of mine. So I'm okay with it not having that crazy stiff suspension and all that stuff. Ooh, I gotta get the polisher out, I think. What is this? Inside, I think it's loaded for, this is pretty high quality for a Camaro, but you got the, the fake plastic leather. It is, when I say high quality, like my Challenger, is pretty nice, but I do think Chevy builds a nicer car. I don't know, maybe they don't, because my Challenger doesn't have hard plastics right there. And granted, this is significantly cheaper than the Challenger, but to me, it's a very nice quality cockpit. You don't have leather like everywhere like you would on a higher end exotic, for example. But bang for your buck, you really can't beat this. I think Again, minus the cheap little plastics here and there. But it's nice feeling leather. It's good feeling Alcantara. That suede type material. I'm not a fan of all suede steering wheels because I wash my hands a lot, but you know, this stuff, it gets compacted down. It just absorbs the dirt. These are nice for Carl seats. I'll do a more in-depth tour on this thing. I just want to get a quick video for you guys while I have the time. I had a pretty busy few weeks ahead of me. Heading to Chicago, got a paintball event and stuff, but again, wanted to get you guys introduction to the ZL1. These seats are a lot cooler than I remember them being in previous years. Is that different? You guys leave a comment down below. Are these seats different in 23? Or is it just me? Before I shut this, let's check out the cool stuff. This does, ouch. This does have, painful, that big 6.2 liter LT4 supercharged V8 that you find in the C7 ZL6. 650 horse, I want to say. This is that same motor I put in my 1969 Camaro. Although this one functions. Paired with the new 10-speed, I don't know if it's new, but paired with the 10-speed automatic, the short few miles I drove this thing, it was butter smooth. These type of motors are going to be on the chopping block here pretty soon, so we got to appreciate them while we have them. I'm sure there's going to be a nice EV version that Chevy will come out with. That'll probably kick the shit out of this thing, but it won't sound like it, that's for sure. I know Camaros kind of get a bad rep. I know their trade value isn't the greatest, but they're such badass cars. And bang for your buck. Like, this thing is supposed to compete with, you know, like a GT500 and the jailbreak, or not jailbreak, the Hellcat, things like that. And this is on the cheaper end of the spectrum. It's also probably, in my opinion, one of the better looking of the three. By three, I mean, you know, the modern classic muscle cars from American manufacturers, Chevy, Dodge, and Ford. Got the Hellcat. I got the ZL1. Now I just need to get a GT500, and the trifecta would be complete. What do you guys think of this? It needs to be tinted, so you're not driving in a fishbowl. The doors are way higher than I remember. I had a, you guys maybe saw my 2018 Camaro 2SS, and I don't remember the doors being, or the windows being this short. Maybe it's just me. This is kind of cool how this lights up. I really like the ambient lighting. You don't get this type of touch in the, like the Dodges, for example. It does have the Bose audio, which I think is really nice. But yeah, what do you guys think of this? It's a really nice car. I've been tossing around the idea for years on getting one. Couldn't pull the trigger, just didn't have it in me, and I'm glad I finally did. I think these wheels are new for 2023. I could be wrong, maybe 22. They were a pain in the ass to clean, I can tell you that. Looks like they have Brembo brakes. I'm not sure on the piston count. Looks like maybe a 6, I'd say. That's a good combo. I like the gray on gray. It's like I would do with the Hellcat. It is a, I think it's called Brilliant White. Is that right? It's not like non-metallic, just flat white. Not crazy about it. I wish I had some metallic, but I don't know how. I don't know if it'll look any better with the metallic. This kind of bugs me, this two-tone look. It's only right here. I don't know if it's this panel that's discolored, or maybe it's just the lighting. I've had that before here. My BMW's had that same lighting effect here. See that? I think it might just be these lights. Alright guys, well, I'm gonna end. Ooh, no I'm not. Before I end it, you gotta hear this bad boy, right? The thing I love about these muscle cars that you have these remote start. God damn! These daytime running lights too, just sinister looking. Me, 7 miles on the odometer. Nice little instrument cluster. Alright guys, I'm gonna end this video here. Hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think. I think it was a good pickup. God, it sounds good. Love it. I know I've been going on about EVs lately, but love it. Alright guys, as always, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks. Set this thing up for Ryan to clear broad here. Okay. I got 7 miles on it. Gotta do some baby revs.